friends, AOC may be screaming and whinging. The question then, as I said, will the far left rise up? Not that they're going to win, but are they going to go act the fool?
AOC is up to her usual tricks trying to fearmonger after the inauguration of Donald Trump. And Tim Pool just isn't having it, ripping into AOC and giving his thoughts on the future. Let's see what Tim Pool has to say.
Cortez fears we are once again on the eve of an authoritarian regime. Apparently she was asleep over the past 4 years when the federal government was weaponized against Donald Trump and even his lawyers. And the state of New York sought to put the man in prison. The whole thing was disgusting. So call now. Call it whatever you want. I don't care. And the state of New York sought to put the man in prison. The whole thing was disgusting. So call now. Call it whatever you want. I don't care. You want warfare, lawfare, I should say, political warfare, whatever you want to call it. That's what you get. And AOC largely isn't paying attention to what's going on, or she largely does not care. But there is a question I have for all of you. And you can comment this now and begin the discussion. What happens next? AOC says the authoritarian regime, and I see this as, are they going to lose their minds? Or is this the popular mandate? I see one of two main branches in our timeline. And again, it could be a mix of the two. There's, who knows what happens. But I see this. Donald Trump won with a popular mandate. The popular vote. Snoop Dogg's performing. I mean, come on. But there's a question about whether or not this means the American people are going to chill out, largely say, we love Trump, and then we get smooth sailing. People stop paying attention to politics because we good, right? It was crazy over the past 10 years. The media wouldn't shut up about Trump. Then with the pandemic and Biden's miserable administration, everybody was just like, when will it stop? So this time they voted for Trump. The problem is Trump's always been a symptom, not the cause. And so here's what I'm thinking. We might get calm. Trump comes in, signs a bunch of executive orders, work starts getting done, and the average person says, Super Bowl time, baby. I'm looking forward to that Super Bowl party with some pretzel sticks and beer cheese. I'm half kidding. I'm not going to eat the pretzel sticks, but get the point. However, with Trump signing 200 executive orders expected in the first day, ending birthright citizenship, launching these raids, going after sanctuary states and cities, there's a possibility we get no calm. The far left loses their minds and they go around smashing things. And I think we're going to go in that direction. Excuse me. I've been coughing all day. Maybe it's because I'm a pessimist. Maybe I'm a cynic. But I don't see how AOC can be fanning the flames of this fear and us not get some kind of deep concern from the left and some kind of direct action. Now,
I mean, I don't know. Do you see that? I mean, listen, the left are always going to lose it and they're always going to be wacko. But do you think that AOC, with Trump winning and stuff, do you think people like AOC has as much influence as they did before? Do you think AOC, saying we're on the eve of an authoritarian regime is going to have as much sway and power and influence as it did, even just as recent as 2 or 3 years ago? I'm not so sure this time around, but maybe I'm an optimist. What do you guys think? Sound off in the comment section below. Smash that like button. Let's get back to it.
Inaugurated in 2017. I was down in DC and it was violent. Fires, protests, riots, and we're here today in DC. I'm wondering if we're going to see the same thing. Now, this was a long time ago. Isn't that crazy? 2017, my friends. I can't believe it's been so long. 8 years. That's wild. And here I am now. I could not go outside. I'd get, these people would lose their minds. They'd attack me, right? And so I was down there when Trump was first inaugurated, and it was insane. When we went to the Deplorable, this big party that was set up just for Trump supporters. It was an honor and privilege to be invited to get in. However, I don't remember. And they were throwing bricks and rocks at us, and the cops couldn't do anything about it. I wonder what will happen today, if anything, as night falls on this cold city. Well, AOC says, according to the Post-Millennial, quote, this is what 21st century fascism is starting to look like. Republicans really model themselves after Viktor Orban's Hungary. So you can really look to see how Orban runs Hungary to get a taste of how they will try to govern and control media companies in the U.S. This is kind of an entree to that. She then began speaking about social media platforms and where progressives can organize, recommending platforms like X alternate Blue Sky. As far as what we do, this is a time for experimentation. A lot of people will still use platforms, but I also look towards places where you have more ownership as well as development as well, and develop your audience there. Blue Sky, you own your audience there. No, you don't. Tons of people have tried going to Blue Sky and they just get banned. So no. There's an interesting conversation. I've been talking to a lot of social media people, and they say the main platforms, X, Facebook, and YouTube, will be restored. That's right. We've already, for the past several months, seen Timcast IRL appearing on the default front page. That's weird. Now, YouTube's front page is largely algorithmic. If you open up a brand new computer and go to the front page, you're going to see a lot of Mr. Beast. And so we did some experiments. A few months ago, we noticed that we had a big spike in viewership. And then it was fluctuating rapidly. And I was like, a bunch of people watching the show and then not watching the show, that's indicative of algorithmic promotion. So we took a device that had not ever been used or signed in, private tab, double layer security, went to YouTube. There it was, Timcast IRL, front page of YouTube, default for a non-signed in user who's never used a computer before. Now, by default, there's nothing there. So you'd click Shorts, it would load Shorts automatically, and then you just switch right back, and then it would auto-populate, and there we were. And I was like, wow, something is changing. The oligarchs, the big tech, it's changing. So my point here is, and we can talk about that in a little bit, it looks like the left is being beaten down.
Real quick, when it comes to the YouTube algorithm, help me out here. Like, my channel blew up 2 months ago. And I was getting a lot of traffic and everything. And now it's died down in the last, 2 or 3 weeks or so. And I'm wondering if there's been any changes in the algorithm or something. Because listen, I have almost 9,000 subscribers now. And I'm like, well, surely I should be getting at least this much. That's how much views at a video. That's how much I was getting before. But now it's not. So I don't know. If you've been watching this channel... If you've been following this channel, do you still see my videos in the feed? Do you still see it recommended anywhere, or have I dropped off? Have I peaked already? Please let me know in the comments.
Blue Sky is a ghetto. If these liberals, these leftists want to go on Blue Sky and organize, they can, but they're outside the mainstream now. We're winning the culture war. In fact, dare I say, with Donald Trump's popular vote victory, we've won. Now, the enemy has been routed. The conflict still exists, but we're largely taking back our institutions, and this is the American resurgence. They want to say AOC has cried wolf regarding fascism in the U.S. For years, the New York rep has slung mud at GOP politicians and those with right-wing politics, including tech billionaire Elon Musk, who she told to lay off the proto-fascism during an exchange on X. You're a public figure, an extremely controversial and powerful one. I get feeling unsafe, but descending into abusive power, erratically banning journalists only increases the intensity around you. She said in a tweet to the to then Twitter owner, take a beat and lay off the proto-fascism. Maybe try putting down your phone. I couldn't imagine being someone like AOC right now. Elon Musk said you first. I couldn't imagine being someone like one of these liberals who really thought this was the right side of history. And oh boy, it must sting, because we told you over and over again. Now, what the argument is that Joe Biden won a popular mandate in 2020.
It's funny because that was always the left's thing toward us. We're on the right side of history. We're on the right side. It's no, if you have to keep saying that you're on the right side of history, maybe you're not on the right side of history. If you have to keep saying we're on the wrong side, then maybe we're not on the wrong side. The only ways that the left got into power like that was by force, by propaganda, and by manipulation. It wasn't because their ideas were good, because clearly they weren't. Their ideas have always been terrible. But it's because they had the media on their side, they had social media on their side, and they manipulated their way into thinking that their right was the correct way. And they only did that by demonizing our side. Which is why you have so many people so unhinged now, because they truly believe Republicans and right-wingers are like evil people. And you can't even have discourse with them because they're so evil. So yeah, they were never on the right side of history. But I think we all know that. But what do you guys think? Sound off in the comment section below. Subscribe to my channel if you're enjoying so far. Let's continue.
COVID times. So this wasn't like people were saying largely that we believe in Joe Biden. It was like, hey, look, things are bad. Just give us something different. And you can make arguments about universal mail-in voting and the weirdness of the 2020 election. Fine, whatever. Call it a popular mandate. That dude ruined it. This is what I love. Republicans are basically saying the 2020 election was stolen. I mean, not basically, they're literally saying it. Okay, well, let's play a different game. When the Democrats say that 2020 wasn't stolen and that Joe Biden won the popular mandate, I say, okay. Because that means 80 some odd million people turned to Joe Biden and said, save us. And he just took a dump right on the floor. And everyone's like, wow. He screwed this up so royally that Donald Trump ended up winning the popular vote 4 years later. Biden becomes a one-term failed president. And now you've got these exposés coming out that are mind-blowing, where they knew Joe Biden was fried the whole time. They were saying early on, this dude has no idea what's going on. We can't run this guy. And they knew it, and they lied the whole time. And so did many of these journalists. It's remarkable to me that some of these journalists have the gall to come out now being like, well, we actually did know the whole time, based on our investigations, that Joe Biden's brain was made of pudding. And they didn't say anything because they're evil.
I mean, absolutely. A lot of the things that are coming out now are things that we've been saying for years. We've been saying that his brain is fried. We've been saying that since 2020. I, for one, listen, I was sick of COVID. I was sick of everything going on in 2020, but I wasn't looking to Joe Biden for help or for hope. The only ones that turned to Joe Biden for hope were the fools that were manipulated by the media. So even if there were no shenanigans in 2020 election, at least not enough to sway the election, and people legitimately did vote in Joe Biden, they were all fools. 84 million fools voted for Joe Biden. How could you have looked to that man or the Democrats and say, I need your help? It was like Ariel going to Ursula for help trying to get the prince in The Little Mermaid. Exactly the same thing. Like, Ursula wasn't there to help Ariel. She was there for her own gain. That's exactly what the Democrats did. The Democrats totally Ursula'd 84 million people.
Now, we may be winning a cultural victory here, my friends. AOC may be screaming and whinging. The question then, as I said, will the far left rise up? Not that they're going to win, but are they going to go act the fool? It's kind of cold out today. So I don't know. It wasn't this cold. It was much warmer in 2017. The other question is, how does media adapt? As the media institutions crumble and channels like this one, thank you all for watching, share the show if you do like it, start to emerge and grow and expand, the message and the narrative becomes clear. If we maintain our ability to sustain a narrative, what it means to be American, then we will see a glorious golden age following Donald Trump's presidency.
He's absolutely right, but I don't think the media is going to learn, at least not yet. They're already saying that Elon Musk did a Nazi salute at the inauguration. I made a whole video about it on my brand new channel, Everybody Be Cool. I recommend you guys go check it out, and please subscribe if you enjoy it. It'll really help me out a lot. If you enjoyed this video, smash that like button, subscribe to this channel. That'll really be helping me out a lot. And if you guys did enjoy what Tim Pool had to say here, I got more Tim Pool stuff on the screen for you to click away and enjoy.